All right, Lakers fans, today we have a lot to unpack. So get ready for some deep insights into what's happening with the team as we gear up for the new season. First off, the focus has been on defensive versatility and athleticism. And one of the key pieces that's been on everyone's radar is Chris Minon. He's a player who stands out immediately because of his physical tools. Standing 6'5", weighing around 210 to 215 pounds, he has the size, the wingspan, and the athleticism that allows him to guard multiple positions from 1 through 3. That's exactly what the Lakers need as they look to reinforce their defensive identity and add a player who can be a stopper, someone who can apply pressure, fight through screens, and create chaos on that end of the floor. Offensively, there are some questions, of course. Like any young player entering a new system, he still needs to develop consistency, particularly with his three-point shooting. But his ability to move without the ball, cut to the basket, and act as a lob threat gives him a natural advantage. At 23 years old, there's still plenty of room for growth, and the potential upside here is significant. Fans were understandably excited to see him in preseason games and during training camp, ready to contribute immediately, but for weeks there was a glaring absence. Unlike some of the other new additions, Chris Minon wasn't appearing in live streams, highlight reels, or even casual practice notes. People began asking, "Where is Chris Minon?" And the silence from official sources left everyone speculating. Then the news finally broke. A grade 2 ankle sprain had sidelined him, making it highly unlikely he would appear in preseason action. It's frustrating, of course, because this is a player the Lakers clearly valued enough to sign directly to a two-way deal rather than a standard training camp contract, showing they believe in his potential to contribute both now and in the future. And this isn't an isolated situation. There have been other players whose injuries seem to be kept under wraps, leaving fans in the dark. Eric Dixon, for instance, suffered an injury that went largely unreported until someone noticed him walking in a cast. Similarly, Darius Bazley's situation remained unclear, leaving a sense that the team has been selectively transparent about who is available and who is not. This strategy might make sense from a management perspective, but from a fan standpoint, it creates questions and a feeling of disconnect. Chris Minon's absence places the Lakers in an interesting position. They need defensive, versatile guards, and he fits that mold perfectly. But meanwhile, other players like R.J. Davis have been performing extremely well in preseason. Davis has shown the ability to defend at the point of attack, make plays on both ends, and contribute as a three-level scorer, which makes the decision about two-way roster spots complicated. If Minon returns later in the season and performs well defensively, the Lakers could have two players capable of filling a similar role, but there's the risk of losing someone like Davis if they can't accommodate both. The timing of injuries and roster evaluations makes these decisions even more delicate. With LeBron James likely unavailable for the first several games, the preseason and early regular season serve as critical evaluation periods. Coaches and management are watching closely to see which players can rise to the occasion and handle the responsibilities required when the stars return. In that context, having Minon sidelined removes an important piece from the immediate assessment, making it harder to gauge how he fits into the system long-term. At the same time, the Lakers have to balance potential versus proven performance. Minon brings size, athleticism, defensive versatility, and a high ceiling, while Davis has already shown tangible results in the preseason. It's the classic dilemma of whether to invest in a player with untapped potential or a player who is ready to contribute now. One thing is clear. The Lakers are prioritizing defensive identity, and both of these players offer elements that could strengthen that aspect. Minon's ability to guard multiple positions, chase shooters off the ball, and disrupt defensive schemes aligns perfectly with what the team needs. His offensive game can be developed with proper coaching, off-ball movement, and skill refinement, particularly in cutting and finishing around the rim. This is the kind of player who, when paired with stars like LeBron and Anthony Davis, could carve out a significant role simply by being relentless on defense and making the right reads on offense. The tricky part comes with managing the roster and two-way contracts. If Minon is unavailable early on, the Lakers risk losing a player like Davis, who could be signed by another team if he doesn't fit on the two-way roster. This creates pressure on the front office to make strategic decisions about who they prioritize, who gets playing time, and how they structure the rotation once everyone is healthy. And while Minon's absence is inconvenient, it doesn't diminish his potential value. If he returns mid-season and immediately demonstrates the defensive impact that scouts and the Lakers anticipated, he could justify the investment and even create a scenario where the team has multiple options for defensive assignments, allowing for more flexible rotations. These decisions are particularly critical in today's NBA, where versatility and athleticism on defense are highly sought after. Players who can guard multiple positions, switch effectively, and contribute as secondary playmakers have enormous value. Minon's physical profile, height, wingspan, strength, speed, makes him a prime candidate to fill that kind of role. It also highlights the Lakers' ongoing strategy to identify and secure players who may not be stars immediately, but have the tools and potential to become key contributors. Even with the preseason setback, the narrative around Minon remains positive. He has the chance to learn, develop, and arrive in mid-season ready to make an impact. His trajectory is similar to many players who spend early portions of their career developing under the radar, then step into a role where their defensive acumen, athleticism, and versatility become undeniable assets. And while fans are eager to see results immediately, it's important to recognize that patience with young players like Minon can pay dividends. A player with his defensive skill set, size, and potential to develop offensive versatility is exactly what the Lakers need to complement their stars and strengthen their depth. The challenge for management is navigating injuries, two-way contracts, and preseason performance while making strategic roster decisions that balance immediate needs with long-term potential. Continuing with the Lakers roster and the implications of injuries and two-way contracts, the situation with R.J. Davis and Chris Minon highlights just how delicate these early season evaluations can be. R.J. Davis has been an absolute standout in preseason action. His defensive tenacity, ability to contest at the point of attack, and knack for creating plays on both ends of the floor have drawn attention. He's shown flashes of being a three-level scorer, could drive to the rim, knock down open threes, and make smart decisions with the basketball. For a team like the Lakers, who are balancing veteran leadership with the development of younger players, Davis represents a kind of plug-and-play energy that is immediately useful. But here's the catch. If he isn't secured on a two-way contract, another team could swoop in and sign him, which forces the Lakers into a tough position. They need to weigh the potential long-term upside of Minon against the proven immediate contributions of Davis. Both players offer defensive versatility, but they bring different strengths to the table. Minon's size, wingspan, and raw athleticism give him an edge in certain matchups, particularly guarding multiple positions and protecting the rim from the perimeter, while Davis offers quicker instincts, a more polished offensive game, and the ability to integrate seamlessly into the rotation right away. As preseason unfolds and the regular season approaches, the Lakers are essentially conducting a live experiment, observing how each player responds under pressure, how they handle different defensive assignments, and how they perform in high-intensity situations without compromising team cohesion. Evaluating young players in these contexts is never simple. Coaches and front office staff have to consider how minutes are distributed, how matchups are managed, and what happens when key veterans like LeBron James and Anthony Davis are absent for stretches. This is particularly important because the Lakers have a tradition of relying heavily on two-way contracts to bolster their depth. These contracts allow young, versatile players to develop within the system while providing a safety net for the team if injuries or trades force roster adjustments. The stakes for Minon are especially high because the Lakers invested in him immediately, bypassing the standard training camp deal. They clearly saw something in his physical profile and potential that they wanted to secure, knowing that other teams might have shown interest. Missing preseason due to the ankle sprain is unfortunate, but if managed properly, it doesn't necessarily derail his trajectory. It just means the coaching staff has to rely on alternative assessments, including practice performance, past evaluations, and film study, to project how he might fit once healthy. Meanwhile, The dynamic with Davis underscores the risk-reward balance inherent in roster management. If the Lakers are too conservative with two-way spots, they could lose a player who is ready to contribute now. If they are too aggressive, they could end up with overlapping skill sets and redundancy in the rotation, potentially limiting minutes for other key contributors. These decisions extend beyond individual talent and touch on the overall architecture of the team. Defensive identity, offensive spacing, chemistry, and long-term planning all factor into which players are retained, which are developed further in the G League and which could eventually be traded or released. With LeBron James likely missing the first portion of the season, the coaching staff has an opportunity to experiment with rotations, test defensive schemes, and observe how young players respond in real-game situations. This period serves as a proving ground for individuals like Davis and Minon, offering insights into who can handle pressure, maintain focus, and contribute meaningfully when the spotlight is on them. The Lakers' history of discovering and nurturing defensive-minded, versatile guards means that they are accustomed to these kinds of evaluations, but it also means expectations are high. Fans, analysts, and the organization alike want to see tangible growth, measurable impact, and a clear path to meaningful minutes. Injuries complicate this process because they limit the sample size of performance and obscure how a player integrates with the team's strategies. In Minon's case, the ankle sprain delays his opportunity to show defensive prowess in live games, but the tools he brings, size, athleticism, defensive versatility, and off-ball potential, remain highly valuable. When he does return, the team will need to quickly assess his readiness, determine how his skill set complements or overlaps with Davis, and identify how best to maximize both players' contributions without creating friction or redundancy in rotations. The strategic considerations don't end there. The Lakers also need to account for potential trades, mid-season adjustments, and a long-term development of players under two-way contracts. They're constantly evaluating which roles are essential, which skill sets need reinforcement, and which players can be developed internally versus acquired externally. In this context, the decisions around Davis and Minon are a microcosm of the broader challenges facing the team. Balancing immediate needs, long-term potential, and the health of the roster requires careful management, clear communication, and a willingness to make difficult choices. Minon's defensive profile, combined with his physical attributes, offers a compelling case for patience and investment, while Davis's immediate contributions highlight the importance of recognizing and retaining proven performers. How the Lakers navigate these dynamics will have implications not only for early season performance, but for the overall trajectory of the team in the months to come. It's a balancing act that requires foresight, adaptability, and a deep understanding of each player's strengths and limitations. Ultimately, the goal is to assemble a roster that can defend at a high level, execute strategically, and integrate seamlessly with star players once they return. Both Minon and Davis are integral to this process, and their development, availability, and performance will shape the Lakers' ability to compete effectively this season. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, in what is already being whispered as one of the most shocking developments of the NBA season, rumors have been swirling following the sudden announcement that the much-anticipated matchup between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors has been canceled. Sources close to the league are tight-lipped, fueling speculation and sending fans and insiders alike into a frenzy over what could have prompted such a dramatic move. The Lakers and Warriors, both coming off hot streaks and loaded with star power, were expected to deliver a game filled with high stakes, buzzer-beater moments, and the kind of headline-grabbing plays that dominate sports news cycles. Now, the cancellation leaves a gaping void, and rumors are spreading faster than any highlight reel. Industry insiders hint that the decision may have stemmed from issues behind the scenes, ranging from player availability concerns to logistical hiccups, but nothing has been confirmed. Some speculate that the sudden halt could be tied to last-minute health precautions, while others whisper about internal disputes between the teams or even league-wide operational challenges. Social media has erupted with speculation, memes, and conspiracy theories, with fans desperately searching for clues in every subtle press release or cryptic tweet. Analysts are already debating the impact on team momentum, playoff standings, and the potential ripple effects across the NBA schedule. The Lakers, who have been riding the energy of a resurgent roster, now face uncertainty, as do the Warriors, who have been fine-tuning their plays and rotations in anticipation of the clash. The ripple effect of this cancellation could reshape perceptions of both franchises' readiness and stamina. While the league has promised further updates, the air is thick with anticipation and skepticism. Whatever the true reason behind this abrupt decision, one thing is clear. The basketball world is buzzing with questions, speculation, and an undeniable sense of intrigue. Fans are left to wonder, was this a simple precaution, a strategic maneuver, or something more dramatic behind closed doors? For now, the mystery stands, keeping everyone on edge and hungry for the next twist in this unfolding NBA saga. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.